The future of the Terminator franchise remains uncertain, but if Terminator 7 is going to bring it back to life, it's time to move on from Arnold Schwarzenegger. Fortunately, the perfect successor will be sharing the screen with him in 2025, but that's just the beginning. James Cameron's next Terminator film will have to confront something the franchise has been avoiding for the past 40 years. Let's break down everything known about Terminator 7 and what could be in store. Despite the tangled mess of timelines, Schwarzenegger has appeared in all 6 Terminator movies in some capacity, whether it made narrative sense or not. After 2019's Terminator, Dark Fate failed at the box office despite decent reviews. The franchise was put on ice. But in 2024, hope returned when reports surfaced that James Cameron, director of the first 2 Terminator movies, was working on a secret Terminator project believed to be the script for Terminator 7. With the franchise back in Cameron's hands, optimism is high. However, the next sequel hasn't been officially announced or greenlit. Cameron is still deeply involved with the Avatar franchise, meaning it could be a long wait before a Terminator sequel moves forward. But if it does, one thing is clear: the franchise needs to move on from its most iconic star. Cameron has already laid out his vision for Terminator's future. One of his key points? Leaving behind everything audiences already know, including familiar characters and visuals. Instead of relying on the usual killer robots from the future, Cameron wants to explore modern AI threats, making the story more relevant for today's audience. After 6 films, the nostalgia that once fueled interest in the Terminator franchise has been drained dry. Unfortunately, the biggest hurdle has been the franchise's reliance on Schwarzenegger. Recent entries have forced him into the story, even when it muddied the timeline and overshadowed fresh narrative. The Terminator series has been caught in a cycle of repeating the same beats, largely because it refuses to fully move on from Schwarzenegger's T-800 and the Connor family. If Terminator 7 is meant to serve as a reboot, Schwarzenegger's presence needs to finally come to an end. This raises a major question: who could replace him? The franchise desperately needs a new lead, someone who can carry it into a new era. Enter Alan Ritchson. Known for his commanding presence, action experience, and stoic demeanor, the Reacher star would make a strong successor to Schwarzenegger. While Ritchson doesn't need to play a character identical to the T-800, giving him a similarly robotic and deadpan personality could make for a seamless transition. Ritchson has already proven his ability to lead action-heavy projects, and he even has an upcoming film with Schwarzenegger himself, The Man with the Bag, produced by Amazon MGM Studio. In it, Schwarzenegger plays Santa Claus, while Ritchson plays a thief enlisted to help recover Santa's stolen magical bag. While it's a far cry from Terminator's dark and gritty tone, seeing them side by side might help audiences accept Ritchson as Schwarzenegger's natural successor. Even with a fresh lead in Cameron's involvement, Terminator 7 faces an uphill battle. The franchise has reached an all-time low in audience interest. Dark Fate tried to clean up the timeline by erasing everything after Terminator 2, Judgment Day, but general audiences simply didn't care. The result? One of the biggest box office failures in movie history. For Terminator 7 to succeed, it needs to pull off 2 difficult feats: win back longtime fans who have been burned by multiple disappointing sequels and attract a new generation of viewers with no nostalgic attachment to the franchise. If anyone can do it, it's James Cameron. But it might be smarter to let the series rest for a while before another reboot. With enough time away from the spotlight, Terminator could finally reinvent itself, this time without Schwarzenegger or the Connor family. This shift is inevitable, especially since Schwarzenegger himself has confirmed he's done with the franchise. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, he said, "The franchise is not done. I'm done." Dark Fate provided a fitting farewell for the T-800, allowing Schwarzenegger's character to bow out in a way that made sense within the story. Now the challenge is keeping Terminator relevant without its most recognizable star. Replacing Arnold isn't easy, but the Terminator franchise has already introduced powerful new models that prove it can evolve. The T-1000 in Judgment Day and the Rev 9 in Dark Fate showcase fresh, innovative designs. Instead of relying on nostalgia, Terminator 7 should embrace this creativity. Even when Schwarzenegger was unavailable, like during Terminator Salvation due to his political career, a CGI version of his face was still inserted onto another actor's body. That hinted at the series preparing for his eventual replacement, though it wasn't quite ready to commit. Now Terminator must evolve. Dark Fate was a solid send-off, but the franchise needs a new lead. Whether it's Alan Ritchson or another rising action star, Terminator 7 must find a worthy successor. By embracing modern AI-driven storytelling and stepping into a new era, the franchise has a real shot at revival. Otherwise, it risks fading into obscurity. On the other hand, as Cameron continues work on the next installment, another actor is weighing in on a potential return. André Holland, who starred in Terminator Zero, is open to reprising his role in live action. Holland played Malcolm Lee in the Netflix anime series, a scientist working to develop an AI powerful enough to rival Skynet and prevent Judgment Day. Developed by the Batman Part 2's Mattson Tomlin, Terminator Zero received widespread praise, leaving the door open for future stories. During an interview with Screen Rant at the Sundance Film Festival, Holland was asked if he'd return as Malcolm in a live-action Terminator project. He responded enthusiastically, Man, listen, I had so much fun doing that. And when we finished, I remember saying, if you guys do this again, please call me because I would love to do. Holland's comments naturally sparked speculation about his potential future in the franchise, though some timeline adjustments would be necessary. Throughout Terminator Zero, Malcolm's deep knowledge of Skynet and humanity's fate raises questions. Eventually, it's revealed that Malcolm is actually from the future, having traveled back in time to stop Skynet while also hoping to reunite with his robotic creation. His efforts initially succeed, but by the finale, he sacrifices himself to save a resistance soldier, leaving the world at the mercy of both Skynet and Coco. However, time travel is a core mechanic of the Terminator franchise. Terminator Zero establishes that each instance of time travel creates a new timeline, meaning Terminator 7 could exist in a reality where Malcolm is still alive. Another possibility, Terminator 7 could be set in the post-apocalyptic future. Cameron has suggested the next movie will move away from past films' iconic imagery while still exploring the franchise's core themes. This could mean stepping away from the Connor family and instead focusing on new characters, possibly with Malcolm at the center. Bringing Holland back as Malcolm could be exactly what the franchise needs. Much like how Star Wars became too obsessed with the Skywalker saga, Terminator has been stuck revolving around the Connor. Terminator Zero proved there's room for fresh perspectives, and Malcolm could be the key to that evolution. That's everything currently known about the next Terminator movie. If anything new comes out, updates will be here. For now, a thumbs up and a subscription would be appreciated. Until next time, stay prepared for the future.